See magic everywhere. Hello, beautiful souls. Have you ever looked at a painting and felt how free the artist was while creating it? As if the painting painted itself. There is no visible effort, no tension, no control. You feel at ease just looking at it. Like something inside you can finally breathe. And then there are paintings that they feel tight, calculated, almost constricting. Most artists spend years trying to force freedom into their work and never quite get there. So today I'm sharing the exact 10 practices I've learned and used over many years of painting that helped me loosen up and release control and paint with real flow and trust. And some of those techniques are quite rare and nobody talked about. And I'm saving those, the most powerful ones, the most powerful ones for the end. So stay with me until the end and let me know which technique sparks your curiosity and which ones you feel called to try. So this video is for every artist. Your experience doesn't matter. Okay, tip number 1. Use big brushes. Big brushes do not allow you to overthink. When you paint with large brush, you cannot focus on teeny tiny little details and imperfections. So you're forced to cover just big, loose shapes and blocks of colors. So this is why I always begin my paintings with big brushes. It keeps me out of my head and inside my body. It gets the emotional tone before the intellect steps in. I love beginning stages of early painting because I could be completely loose with it. Tip number 2, use palette knives. Palette knives. When you work with palette knives, you can't overthink. You can just dab in one small place on the canvas. The movement is bigger, more decisive, more physical. Palette knives force you to let go of control and respond to the paint instead of trying to perfect it. They invite bold marks and texture and spontaneity. That's exactly where looseness begins. Tip number 3, use your non-dominant hand. Write with your non-dominant hand. When paint or write with non-dominant hand, this instantly dissolves perfectionism. Your non-dominant hand doesn't know how to do that right. And that's exactly why it works. Marks become raw, gestures become expressive, control disappears. Tip number 4, paint standing instead of sitting. When you paint standing, you use your whole body. When you sit, you can keep on the little spot on the canvas over and over and over for a long time, and you just don't see the whole picture. That creates disconnected paintings. When one part of the painting doesn't quite fit with another. Loose paintings doesn't come from the wrist alone. It comes from the body. Stand back, move your arm, shift your weight, let your body participate in the painting. When the body moves freely, the painting flows and the result displays that easier. Tip number 5, flip your canvas upside down. Turning the canvas upside down breaks the mind's attachment to logic. Suddenly, you're not longer painting a thing. You're responding to shapes, colors, movements, and energy. This is one of the fastest ways to step out of control and back into intuition. Tip number 6, accept the early beginning phase of every painting. Every free painting goes through chaos. Messy movements are not mistakes, they are doorways. If you try to fix things too early, you interrupt the flow. Stay with discomfort, let the painting be unresolved for a while. Trust the process. Trust that clarity comes later, in later stages. You will have your time to fix your painting. In the early stages, focus on the underpainting without overthinking. Just the background, loose shapes of blocks of colors. Remember, you will always have opportunity to refine it, to render, adjust it, and resolve things later on. So you can't expect a tree to grow from a seed in a single day. And the same comes true for any painting. Each stage has its purpose. Painting is a living process that unfolds over time. Respect every stage of your painting. Different stage of your painting, it's like different season in life. You might don't like it, but it's there. So even uncomfortable ones, like winter. Tip number 6, paint consistently. When you paint consistently, even if it's just 30 minutes a day, you begin to build momentum and focus. It becomes especially powerful when you paint at the same time of the day. Your body starts recognizing the rhythm. It knows this is my painting time. Over the time, it creates a habit. And when something becomes a habit, you no longer have to fight resistance. You don't have to convince yourself to start. It becomes automatic. The more you paint, the easier it becomes to enter the flow, naturally and effortlessly. Before we continue, I would love to hear from you. Please let me know in the comments which of those tips that you're hearing for the first time, and which of those tips sparked your curiosity and you cannot wait to try them. And I'm really curious about what are your ways of loosening up before you start painting. Please share your personal advice. Please share it with the community. The community truly benefits when we learn from each other and discover new ways of becoming creative freely. Tip number 7, set a limited time. Paint a small piece on the paper or on a small canvas. Set a timer for just 30 or 45 minutes. Don't extend it any longer. Focus on the time, not on the result. And a result is valid when time is limited. Make sure you cover completely and entirely the whole canvas. Because your time is limited, you don't have room for overthinking. So you're going to be really focusing on the moment. Instead of worrying about how it looks, you are gonna be trying to do as fast as possible and focus on how much you can do at this time and allow the painting to be finished, even if it feels imperfect. This practice trains your nervous system to move instead of analyzing. They had an experiment often cited in art education, originally shared in Art and Fair magazine. Here's the essence of it. In simple terms, 2 groups of art students were given different grading system. Group A was graded on quality. The grade was based on how many works they produced. No concern for the quality, just make as much as possible. Group B was quality group. The grade would depend on producing the one perfect high quality piece. Planning, theorizing, refining, all focused on excellence. The surprise, the best artworks came from the quantity group, not from the perfectionist. Why this happens and why it matters so much. The quantity group stayed in motion, experimented freely, made mistakes without fear, learned through doing, didn't overthink or self-judge, refined their skills naturally through repetition. The quality group got stuck in analysis paralysis, and that delayed creation. It tied the worst of outcome to less actual work. In other words, quality emerged as a side effect of presence, play, and repetition, not pressure. Creation is a state of being. Obsession with results pulls us out of the process. Joy, healing, and truth lives in the act of creating, not in the evaluation. The experiment quietly proves something radical. Perfection is not the path to mastery, but creation is. Next 3 tips are my personal favorites. So I hope you try them, or maybe you have tried them already. So please share in the comments. I would love to hear that. Tip number 8, paint at night. At night, the brain is tired, and that's a gift. I remember my art teacher gathering us at art school late at night to paint together in the art studio. There was such an excitement, a sense of achievement and freedom, breaking the rules. And I remember how everyone's work felt at least 2 levels deeper and more professional. It felt like a real miracle. Even now, I often paint from 10 p.m. to midnight. I've noticed that does loosen up. Most of beautiful work comes from me when I paint late at night. I enjoy the process the most. My mind is simply too tired to analyze. When the analytical mind allows down, intuition becomes louder. Painting at night often feels softer, more emotional, and more honest. You're less likely to judge and much more likely to feel. Tip number 9, paint several canvases at the same time. When you work on multiple canvases, attachment loosens. You stop obsessing over one painting. You move between them intuitively. If you get stuck in one, you step away without frustration. Flow replaces the pressure. Tip number 10, let go of overcome. The moment you start thinking, will that look good? What other will say about it? Will this sell? Will somebody like it? You tighten. Freedom lives in the process, not in the result. Paint to enjoy the act of painting, not to impress. Painting itself is the reward. Bless the moment you paint. It is a gift. Of course, this is much easier to say than to do. That's why the early tips in the video matter so much. They help you enter the flow first. And once you're there, gently guide your attention back to the process whenever your mind drifts towards the outcome. Let this be a gentle reminder. All you have to do is to be present in the moment. But the prayer really helps. The gratitude prayer helps so much to loosen up. Pray so you can loosen up. The future doesn't exist, past already passed, and we're just grateful that we can create right now in this moment. So bless the creative flow, and it comes more easily. We allow God to create through us. We become His hands. In that knowing, we can relax and trust the flow. And we truly become present in the moment, right here, right now. Looseness is not a technique. It is a state of permission, a state of being. The more you allow yourself to let go of control, the more your painting will begin to breathe. Then your painting breathes, so does the viewer. Before you go, I would love to hear from you. Which of those tips felt the most powerful for you? And which one surprised you the most? If you found this video useful and learned something new today, please give a like and please put it in the comments. What did you find useful or surprising today? I put a lot of heart and work into sharing my best practices with you that I've learned over the many years as an artist. So you don't have to discover everything the hard way. And if you have your own ways of loosening up before painting, please share them in the comments below. The community truly grows when we learn from each other. And this is it. And the space feels supportive to you. You are very welcome to subscribe and become the part of our beautiful creative community. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great loosening painting session. Bye.